The first one was so popular, there had to be a part 2. 5 more things that Brandon sees as maintenance issues on the mountain bike. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you're watching another great episode of Toolbox Topic. Once again, I am at Trek Bicycle Stores of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona, and once again, I'm joined by my co-host, Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
Yeah, waking up.
Yeah, right. Getting there?
Getting there.
Yeah, and in the background, which you can't see, my friend Mike Smith. Hey, it's awesome. He's a little chilly right now. I offered him my coat, but he declined. These things happen, you know, what are you gonna do? So today, because the first video was so popular and you guys were so appreciative, we decided to do 5 more things that Brandon sees as maintenance issues on the mountain bike. Some of these are a bit more obscure.
And after this will be 5 more.
We're not gonna lie.
5 more.
And 5 more. But they are maintenance issues nonetheless. So we figured we'd talk about them a little bit. And then let you guys decide, you know, hey, were we acting like, you know, clowns with clown shoes, or, you know, did this one have some type of value for you as well? So, right. All right, Brandon, without wasting anybody's time like we normally do, let's get started. Number 1.
So this one maybe is not quite a maintenance issue as it is just something that we see quite a bit.
Okay.
And that will be help setting up suspension.
Yes.
The main point of suspension is to have your wheels contact the ground at all times. Now, not a lot of mountain bikers like to be off the ground at all times if possible,
right.
But the main reason is there is to keep you under control.
Okay.
And so what we want is that suspension to compress properly under your body weight and
as
to
well as rebound properly.
Rebound is even more, possibly even more important, because we want the wheels and the suspension to contour the, to hug the contours of the terrain that you're riding on. Excuse me. So a great way to do it, especially if you own a Trek bike, the very basic place to start is going to Trek suspension calculator, where you type in the year, the make, the model of your bike, and then type in your weight, and it's going to spit out a recommendation for you. This is a recommendation, but it's a fantastic place to start.
Right.
After that, depending on where you're riding, how you like the bike to feel, you can always adjust maybe another click of rebound or a few more PSI plus or minus on the air pressure
this
as well.
way you're using that full 150 millimeters, or 100 millimeters, 170 millimeters of travel. And just like Mike illustrated before we started the video, and I'll see it sometimes on the trail too, you see, and that's all the movement they're getting. You can see it on their stanchion, and it's like, holy smokes.
And it could be preference too. It could be somebody who just likes a firmer ride.
Yep.
They don't like as much travel in there.
The ladies in Vegas do.
Which is fine too. But if you don't have a Trek and you don't have any kind of suspension calculator from whatever bike company you buy from, what we'll do is we'll help people with setting up by using SAG. And so if you look at these guys, hopefully you can see it, especially on this little guy here. There's a little SAG meter on there.
And we actually did a couple videos on setting SAG too that we'll link up top.
So we have a SAG meter. We don't have one on this side, but we can easily start one up with a zip tie. A very small zip tie. And so maybe just refer back to that video to show how to set up SAG. But a lot of times we help a lot of people set up their suspension that way.
Okay.
There's still a little bit of, so once we set up with SAG, there's still a little bit of experimenting the rider has to do with the rebound. Because SAG doesn't really
adjust the rebound.
With the rebound very much. So you might have to play around with that a little bit.
And one of the things I found too with as far as like weight, I'm a fluffy kid, but I typically wear a pack with water and I got tools in it and stuff like that. I calculate that in with my total gross weight. Some people forget that though. So that if you've calculated your weight and it still doesn't quite feel right, maybe that's one of the causes. So, but yeah, and it is, and it can lead to premature wear and failure on your suspension if it's not set properly. It's one of the things that could happen. Not that it often does, but it could.
If you had too low of air pressure and then you kept bottoming it out.
So it could. So, all right.
One way that we do the rebound on the front is once we have it set up, if you're at home and you're kind of wanting a great place to start, go ahead and put your full body weight onto it and let it go. What you want is for it to rebound as quickly as possible, but not come up off the ground. So that's just,
again, just a starting spot.
That's a starting point.
Yep. Okay. Number two of more
numero
maintenance
dos.
issues. Yes.
What do we got? Oh, we see a lot of broken spokes here.
Broken spokes due to loose nipples.
Well,
Okay, I told him the loose nipples.
So
Yeah,
bad.
You know, and I've seen loose nipples before.
They do come loose.
So.
But that's typically not why you break a spoke.
It's not, but it sounds fun. Blame it on the nipples, guys.
We love saying nipples around here for sure. Especially people that don't know that they're called nipples.
Yeah, they kind of giggle.
Yeah.
We all do, because we're kids. We're 50-year-old children. So
a lot of broken spokes. Some of it has to do just from riding these things in these conditions. They just break, and especially if you have a larger rider, you're going to go through spokes probably quicker. It's a lot of It's a lot going on back there. Every little spoke does its job, and you know, if one of them's losing tension, or if you land sideways, you can break a spoke pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, people eat shit, roll the bike down a hill, it hits rocks, and then they break. And also, what we see a lot of kicking up twigs, kicking up branches in there.
Okay.
And that'll rip out some spokes as well. So,
Okay.
So spoke replacement is getting expensive now. It used to be only a few bucks for a new nipple, a new spoke, and the wheel true. But now everybody's tubeless. So now we have to completely take apart the tubeless setup.
Yeah.
I have to re-tape it, reseal it.
Yep.
If you have Kush Core, I'm charging even more to take that out. You're going to get nailed if you got Kush Core, I promise you.
He is so discriminatory against the Kush Core. Man.
So
holy smokes.
They can be expensive.
I'm going to
these
friggin'
days.
call the Civil Liberties Union on that. Anti-Kush Core.
But it's true.
It's true. It's true.
It's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work just to change one spoke now.
And it is.
If we're lucky, there's the spoke will break, and the nipple and the spoke I'll have something left here.
Okay.
So if the nipple's still exposed here, hopefully I can keep that nipple exposed.
Okay.
Feed in a new spoke and not have to undo everything.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of times the spoke actually breaks inside the nipple. You can't extract that, and we got to get in there.
And you're done. Okay. Well, there you have it. Broken spokes, sometimes due to loose nipples, but either way, it's going to cost you. Which, when you think about it, a loose nipple is going to cost you no matter what you're doing. So, all right, number 3 in our somewhat made-up list of 5 more maintenance issues.
Since these things all came into existence,
Dropper posts.
That's just added one more thing that we got that can break, can fail, can go out of adjustment, and that's a dropper post.
Yep.
You won't see a dropper post on my bikes either. I don't run those damn things.
He doesn't really mountain bike either,
I've been riding for 40 years without them. I can do without them for another few years.
Few years.
But we do see that a lot. And a lot of times it just has to do with the cable inside.
Okay.
Sometimes we just need to add a little bit of cable tension, because what's happening inside there, when you press that lever, it's actually opening a poppet valve. And that poppet valve is not reaching, the lever, the actuator is the correct word.
Yep.
The actuator is not actually reaching that poppet valve.
Right.
So a little bit of cable tension, the actuator goes to its full swing and actuates that. So that's an easy fix.
Right. And every once in a while, these have to be rebuilt.
Every once in a while, yeah, it's good.
Video linked up top. We have a full video on that.
If they're coming up slow, it might be time just to go in there and re-grease everything.
You know what else it might be time for? Hit like, subscribe, bell notification icon, my friends. Helps out the video, helps out the channel.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Just sneak it in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be also, there's in most of the new dropper posts, there's what we call a pressure stick inside there, which is a compressed air shaft.
Don't shoot your friend in the eye with that, please.
And sometimes those need to be replaced. But one thing that we see a lot that you can do at home is people over-tighten the collar. And you'd be surprised just by retorquing the collar to its proper spec.
Right.
Because it kind of smashes it a little bit. You wouldn't think it would, but it certainly can. So one of the troubleshooting issues is just retorquing the collar, and people are amazed that,
I've done that once. And I'm just like, what the heck happened? So yeah. But yeah, that's because this is before Brandon made me buy a torque wrench, and I started torquing everything to its proper spec. So we're torquing.
So
all right, so
since the invention of this monstrosity, we see a lot of those now.
Okay, but it's good to know. So if you're having issues, it may need maintenance, and and again, every once in a while.
Yep. What do we got? What's another one? That's
Clutch.
Quattro. We got a clutch. So if you have a Shimano, any type of shadow type, does that one have it?
Yeah.
So that Shimano equips you with a clutch that you can turn on and off. That clutch will actually does two things. When it's off, it makes the shifting feel so much better.
Yeah.
The shifting is just beautiful with that. But when it's on, you get less chain slap. The chain's tighter because now your cage, you've increased the tension on the cage of your derailleur, so less chain slap.
And we did a video on the rebuild and the maintenance and everything, which we'll link up top.
Right.
But
and so what happens in there, it's all metal parts inside there, and it's a very tight system in there. It's kind of grasping on like that to a little pulley wheel. And once it gets a little bit of corroded, a little bit of dirt inside there, it can actually make that cage feel really grindy and really choppy feeling. That needs to be smooth for you to get a good shift.
Right.
So this is kind of alluding back to our shifting issues from the first segment. One of the troubleshooting could be that clutch is just gross inside. We need to go in there and clean it up and rebuild it.
All right. And then the last one, number 5, is the freehub maintenance, or I refer to as like the Pauls, because I am the king of torching those things, and it always seems like when I do, I'm miles away from friggin' my truck. So I gotta walk, and of course people just drive by and wave, how's it going? Yeah. So what do we need to look for? Right. What are some signs that might be, going, or is there an hourly PM that we should pay attention to?
I would say the first thing that you would start to notice is when you go to engage. So all the newer, higher end hubs like you have very, very quick engagement, almost zero float before they engage. So if you feel that the engagement is increasing, like you get a little slip and then it engages, it's time to bring it in for an overhaul.
Okay.
As what's happening then is maybe the grease is getting too thick, maybe there's dirt inside there, and the little poles inside there that are based on a little tiny spring.
Oh, and they're tiny.
They're sticking down and they're not engaging. So,
yeah, and I think we have a video. If we do, I'll link it up top.
Yep, I think we do too. So going in there with a little clean streak first, and then using the proper oil on that free hub should get it moving again in good order. Now, again, because things are getting so complex, we're seeing more. So they want you to have the lightest thing at the cheapest price, at the best possible durability. I keep saying that. And so we're seeing some designs on these hubs that they're failing.
Right.
DT Swiss unfortunately had a few issues with theirs. They have a different system of ratcheting pawls, which is super cool and very few moving parts. But they've had issues with that. We've had issues with the Bontrager ones, to be fair, where the drive ring strips out and just floats inside there. So we have seen failures coming from them from just
I'm upgrading to Chris King, guys. Seriously. I mean, at that point, I should have no other issues. So.
Very few failures with the Chris.
Yeah, my birthday's coming up in February, so let's see what Daddy can do.
I endorse that.
Yeah,
100%. So I think they're getting better. We've seen less issues with drive rings and those DT Swiss. Not only have they done a fantastic job of taking care of their customers by rebuilding with all new parts, sending it back for free, but I think they've also got the issue figured out. I think it had to do with the coating that they were using on the rings or something like that. So everybody's taking care of their customers, though. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but
at least they're standing by.
They're standing by. Yeah, they're realizing and they're making it right.
That's good to know. So, all right, and just like the other one, the bonus one, number 6, and I will go ahead and take this one. I told Brandon I would make it up, but I think this one is very poignant. Number 6, biggest maintenance issue that I know Brandon sees here in the shop, and I'm guilty of it. It's me. It's you. It's all of us. And here it is. I'm not trying to demean or talk crap to anybody, but we ride these bikes. I know for me personally, I ride mine like I stole it. I put it through hell and back. And when I neglect the basic maintenance at my home and my garage, and I have a beautiful garage set up, so there's no excuse for me to do it, and I don't pay attention and I just keep riding it like it's never gonna break, that's an issue. I need to be more cognizant and aware of these minor maintenance items that I could be doing, so that way they don't turn into a major maintenance nightmare. So,
could have said it better myself.
Yeah, as a favor to yourself and to your bike, and to the guys and gals at your local bike shop, just take a few minutes before you ride, take a few minutes after you ride, go through it. tighten down the pivot points. Make sure your chain and your cassette's lubed. Maybe make sure, you know, just ride it around in your street neighborhood area there. The brakes are good, everything's good.
That's one of the things I had that maintenance class, and that's the large bulk of it is just the overall awareness.
Overall maintenance
certain
check.
sounds and certain things that operate on the bike.
Absolutely.
And that's totally.
Yeah, so that way if anything happens, we're going to fix it before we get out on the ride, and you're going to also increase the longevity of the life of your bike and its parts. This is an investment, guys. These aren't inexpensive. Brandon and I joke around sometimes, hey, it's a great entry-level bike, but it's $1,500 or $1,000. That's not cheap. So knowing that and knowing what they cost, just do yourself a favor.
Absolutely.
Don't be your own worst enemy on that. So
along those lines,
yeah, I think that's it.
My wife came in from she commutes.
Okay.
My wife came in from her bike ride one time, and she had the water bottle and the water bottle cage in her hand.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, this fell off while I was riding." And I asked her, "Well, how long was that thing rattling around on there until it fell off?" It had to be weeks or months of that thing going.
Did she give you the side eye and just hand it to you?
Until it finally fell off.
Yeah.
So,
did you get the side eye and she just handed it to you?
I don't think she said anything, actually.
Okay. Set it on the table and just walk away?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm offended now that you say that.
Well, I'm just saying. You know?
I was talking to.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know if I had a significant other and I go, well, how long was that an issue before you decided to, you know, I would get the side eye and just be like, they would walk away, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much
that would be the end of it. So, yeah. Don't want to hear the rational explanation. We just want you to fix it. So. These things happen. So, all right, my friends, there you have it. Like, subscribe, bell notification icon. It's the trifecta. Helps out the channel, helps out the video. We sure enjoyed making part 2 for you. We hope you guys enjoyed it as much as part 1. Links down below. Check Bicycle Stores of West Phoenix is the most important link. Have questions, comment. If you want to talk to an actual person, hello. Brandon's got a sexy phone voice, by the way. Give him a call. One of him. Right. Brandon or one of his amazing crew can definitely help you out. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the devil's work. It's what's needed to get the word out for Get Out Arizona. Group hikes, group rides, everything that we do on a daily basis is posted there, so show us some love as well. The other links are affiliate links. If you make a qualifying purchase, we receive a small commission. You will not be charged any additional money, but it helps out with gas money, park pass money, and coffee money, the other trifecta that we love so much. So what do we say now? Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards out on that trail. And we have to ask, what are you waiting for?
Get Out Arizona.
Yes. Wiki, wiki, wiki. We'll see you on that next adventure, my friends. Take care, everybody. Brandon, we'll see you next week.
Maybe we'll talk about more nipples.
Yeah, possibly.